going on, guys? Cotton 68 SPC channel, and wanted to talk to you guys about the Aries Armory raid. There's been a lot of YouTube videos over it. There's some guys, XX Banshee 13 XX had some video of the actual raid going down. The political report, she did put her thoughts out on it. Just a lot of people showing support. And I kind of wanted to do the same video and give you all a little bit of research that I've done. After seeing the raid and stuff, I got curious as to what the grounds of the raid were. I know everybody said that it's for the names, but I didn't think that the ATF could go do a raid for a list of names. There had to be something, you know, behind that was causing them to want them names. And I found it today. It's actually on the Aries Armor's website. Go to News and Updates, and it'll pull up a determination letter here that was made by the ATF. And basically what it says is that the ATF rated EP lowers on false information, basically, and the debacles over the process of how they make their 80% lowers. The ATF has defined 80% lowers as non-firearms for many years. This isn't a new thing. 80% lowers and 80% 1911s have been out for years and years and years. What they are going after EP lowers and Aries Armors, who sells EP lowers, what they're going after them about, they are saying that EP lowers and their manufacturing process is actually making a firearm and then reverting it back to a non-firearm. So what they're saying is that they are actually moding the lower, which if they moded the lower without the fire control group block in there, then at that time it's a firearm. But what they actually do is the little red block or little white block that you see sticking up out of the lower, that is the first thing that is made. So they make that little block, and then they put a mold around that, and then the polymer is poured in that mold, and your actual lower forms around that. And that's what the ATF is arguing here. Once Aries Armor and EP lowers were made aware of what the ATF had plans, I guess it was back in early 2012, they were contacted by the ATF and basically told they were going to get raided if they didn't turn over the names of the peoples that had these lowers. Kudos to Aries Armors and EP lowers. They're both taking a stand, and so far none of the names of any of the customers have been given. Aries Armors can win this fight. They can very easily win this fight, and the ATF knows that. So me and you know what's going to happen here. They're going to bleed these people dry until they can't fight no more, and that's something I think that we need to stand up for. I've called Aries Armors. I've put a message in with them asking them if they had anything set up to where we could donate money for legal fees, or if they'd rather just people buy stuff off their site. Their site is still functional. Their store is still functional. None of them have been arrested, and their brick and mortar stores are open at this time. But guys, I'm telling you, even if if you're sitting at home and you're thinking, why should I get involved? I don't even have one of these lowers. This right here shows how far that our government is willing to go to overstep laws that it has set in place. This is it's mind-boggling how crazy this is. Like I said, they were given evidence that the determination that they made were wrong. They had a restraining order put against them, and they still made the raid. And they're willing to do that to a multi-billion-dollar company. What do you think they're going to do when they come after me or you? and determine that one of the guns we have is no longer legal. We're not going to be able to fight them. We don't have the funds. A big company may be able to fight them for a while, but they're going to end up bleeding dry. It's just the way it works. But guys, contact your Congress, contact your sheriff's office, contact the San Diego Sheriff's Office. Even if you don't live in California, contact all their politicians. Anything you can think of to do, we need to be doing it. Help these guys out. They made a huge stand. Basically, the ATF told them, hey, listen, nobody has to know. Give us these names, and we'll just brush this aside like it never happened. And the man had enough pride in himself and his company to stand up and say, no, I'm not doing that. At one point, he actually did tell the ATF that he was going to do it, and I think this is where the raid, a lot of it comes from. It's a who's is bigger kind of deal. He actually told the ATF, had his lawyers tell him that, yeah, they'd get him that list of names, but they only did that long enough for them to get the temporary restraining order to keep them from raiding, which in the end didn't work anyway. And like I said, all this information can be found on their website. Guys, until you see something posted up to where we can donate something, go to their website and buy something. Like I said, it's still fully functional. Even if you buy a $5 or a $10 item, that's going to help them out. They're going to need every bit of support they can get. And I would highly suggest, if you have one of these lowers, if you have bought one of these lowers, you know you're on that customer list. I would highly suggest that you get a hold of your politicians, that you get a hold of your sheriff, maybe even get a hold of your state militia, and let them know that you have one of these. And it would be unconstitutional for anybody to come and get it from you, because under the ATF's own laws, until you make it into a firearm, you bought it as a non-firearm. You can actually go to the ATF's website. I can't remember the bill number, but it's right on the question and answer page where it talks about actually manufacturing a firearm. You are allowed to do that for personal use only. You cannot manufacture that firearm, give it to your wife, daughter, or grandma, whoever. You can't give it to anybody. The person manufacturing that firearm has to be the one that's in possession of that. So if you bought one of these and you made a weapon and gave it to your son who lives in another house, that would make it illegal. You have to have possession of that firearm. And I would make sure I had possession of that firearm. Like I said, I don't think they're going to end up getting the names. I think it's going to be a long, drawn-out battle, and I think we all need to get behind them the best we can. If you can't support them with a purchase or a donation, guys, just pound it into your politicians, your sheriff's department, California Sheriff's Department politicians. Let them know that we're not going to stand for this type of action. This was a huge debacle. I think it shows how far our government is willing to go. These government agencies are willing to go to show who's in power. And we need to take that back as citizens and let them know, hey, y'all work for us. Y'all need to stop this junk. And I know there's going to be some politicians that comes out and say, oh, I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. That's a bunch of bull crap. You should have known about it. That's your job, is to know about it. That's what I pay you for. It was a huge waste of taxpayers' dollars. We paid for that raid. We paid for the raid on EP lowers. We paid for everything that our government does is coming straight out of our pocket. And when they're using my money to do shit like this, it doesn't stand well with me, and it shouldn't stand with you. Thank you, guys.